What if I told you that in one single year, 1968, rock music didn't just make noise, it started a revolution, or maybe a rebellion. This was the year when Vietnam was raging, civil rights were clashing, and somewhere between the chaos, 13 iconic rock songs roared out of speakers and straight into history. These weren't just tracks. They were sonic grenades. They laid the groundwork for punk, gave birth to metal, and inspired generations that still air guitar to their legacy today. From legendary anthems to gritty underground gems, we're counting down 13 rock songs from 1968 that shaped the future of music as we know it. Stick around, crank up the volume, and let's time travel through the riffs that changed everything. First up, we have Born to Be Wild. Steppenwolf starts a genre, accidentally. Born to Be Wild wasn't just a song, it was an attitude.
Yeah, darling, go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace.
When Steppenwolf dropped this in 1968, everything changed. The lyrics screamed rebellion, and the sound, pure gasoline. It kicked off with that growling guitar, revved like a Harley, and then, bam, you hear the words, heavy metal thunder.
Heavy metal thunder, racing with the wind.
That line would go on to spark an entire genre, but at the time, no one knew they were about to shape rock history. This was the anthem of bikers, loners, rule breakers. The track took off thanks to the film Easy Rider, where it basically became the heartbeat of the counterculture. Ozzy Osbourne gave it his stamp. Even Miss Piggy from the Muppets covered it, which is wild. But nothing beats the original. It still sounds dangerous, like you're headed somewhere fast, and don't plan to stop. Then comes Hey Jude. The Beatles made feelings okay. Hey Jude didn't just break records, it broke hearts wide open. Paul McCartney wrote it for Julian Lennon, who was struggling while his parents' marriage fell apart. At first it was called Hey Jules, then it morphed into something bigger.
Hey Jude, don't make it bad.
With a slow piano build, comforting lyrics, and that massive chorus that goes on forever, it felt less like a song and more like therapy. Radio stations didn't even care that it was over 7 minutes long. They played it anyway.
Anytime you feel the pain, hey Jude, refrain.
That was unheard of. But when the Beatles released something, people listened and felt that final na 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 part. It turned into one of the most iconic sing-alongs in history. People who didn't even know the words knew how to feel it. It's not just a Beatles hit, it's a cultural moment. And hey, if you caught yourself humming along to the na 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 part, yeah, you're definitely in the right place. Go on and hit that subscribe button. You'll get more stories, more tunes, and more weird little facts you didn't know before. On number 3 is Sunshine of Your Love. Cream invents the riff. You already know that riff. You already know it. Even if you've never heard of Cream, your ears know the opening of Sunshine of Your Love.
In the sunshine of your love.
It slides in slow, smooth, heavy. Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, and Ginger Baker were on another level when they made this. Blues, rock, jazz, it all got stirred into one psychedelic potion. Released as part of Disraeli Gears, this was the track that turned Cream into legends.
Yes, I'm with you, my love. The morning just...
Clapton's guitar work was hypnotic. Jack's vocals dragged you into a smoky, velvety groove, and Ginger's drums didn't just keep the beat, they attacked it. And not only this, Hendrix himself thought it was genius and covered it during his own shows. That says everything. This wasn't background music. You had to sit with it, let it play, let it crawl under your skin. On number 4 is I've Got to Get a Message to You. The Bee Gees get real dark. Before disco lights and falsettos, the Bee Gees had a very different vibe, and I've Got to Get a Message to You proves it.
I just gotta get a message to you. Oh.
This track from 1968 hits heavy. It's about a man on death row, pleading for one last message to reach the woman he loves. That's not your typical pop theme. But the Bee Gees made it poetic. Robin Gibb's trembling voice feels like it's cracking under the weight of time, and the harmonies ache in the best way. It's stripped back, but still full of drama. You don't expect something so dark and beautiful from the same guys who later gave us Stayin' Alive. But that's what makes this song so special. It's emotional, haunting, and weirdly comforting at the same time. You feel for the guy, even though you never met him. Next is Hello, I Love You. The Doors go pop, but make it cool.
I love you, won't you tell me your name? Hello, I love you, let me jump.
This one caught people off guard. The Doors were supposed to be dark, poetic, mysterious, music you played when you were brooding or high or both. Then they dropped Hello, I Love You in 1968, and it felt fun, still trippy, still weird, but way more upbeat than their usual stuff. Jim Morrison's voice was smooth and flirty, and the lyrics? Basically him admiring a girl on the street. Simple, bold, kinda cheeky. It didn't have the cryptic depth of The End or the chaos of Break On Through, but that's what made it different. The band kept their strange charm, just wrapped it in something you could actually move to. It was also one of their most accessible hits and showed that the Doors weren't stuck in one mood. On number 6, we got Jumpin' Jack Flash, the Rolling Stones' return to grit. By 1968, the Stones were done playing with psychedelia. They came back swinging with Jumpin' Jack Flash, and it hit hard.
I'm jumping Jack Flash, it's a gas.
That opening guitar riff, sharp enough to cut steel. The whole thing feels like it's bursting out of the speakers. It's Mick Jagger in full swagger mode, barking out lines like he's survived a storm and is ready for more. Keith Richards built the riff using open tuning, and it gave the song that gritty, punch-you-in-the-face vibe.
I was raised by Jude, bedded hay.
The Stones had always been the rougher cousins to the Beatles, but this track sealed it. It got covered by everyone from Aretha Franklin to Motorhead. Doesn't matter who plays it, it still sounds like rebellion. After dabbling in flower power sounds, this was them spitting dirt and fire again. Then comes Cry Like a Baby. The Box Tops bring Memphis to the masses. Cry Like a Baby might not get as much attention as the louder rock hits from 1968, but that's part of its charm. It's smoother, softer, but still has teeth.
As I look back on a love so sweet now, I cry like a baby.
The Box Tops leaned into that rich Memphis sound, soulful arrangements, layered production, just the right amount of drama. Lead singer Alex Chilton had one of those voices that sounded older than he was, like he'd seen too much for someone barely out of his teens. The track's orchestration makes it pop-friendly, but underneath it all is this pulsing emotion that sticks with you. It's a breakup song, sure, but not a bitter one. More like the kind where you cry into your pillow, but keep playing the track on repeat. On number 8 is Piece of My Heart. Janis Joplin doesn't just sing, she bleeds. You hear that first scream, and you know it's Janis. Piece of My Heart wasn't written for her, but it might as well have been pulled from her soul. Originally sung by Irma Franklin, Janis grabbed the song and transformed it into a raw, volcanic eruption of emotion. Backed by Big Brother and the holding company, she tore through every line like she was living it in real time. It's heartbreak, but it's also power. She's giving everything and then daring you to ask for more. This track became an anthem, especially for women who were tired of being quiet about their pain. Janis lived the song, and even though it's been covered countless times since, no one's come close to what she did with it. On number 9 is People Got to Be Free. The Rascals say what everyone was thinking.
That's the way it should be. Peace in the valley, people got to be free.
This song dropped at one of the darkest moments in American history. Just weeks after Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated, people were angry, heartbroken, and desperate for something to hold on to. People Got to Be Free felt like a beam of light through the chaos. The Rascals weren't trying to be edgy or deep. They just said it straight. Peace, love, freedom. The message was so simple it hit hard. It sounded like a mix between a Sunday gospel revival and a protest chant in the streets. Horns blared, voices soared, and it all felt real. Folks played it again and again. because it said what they were feeling. Tired of hate, tired of fear, just wanting a better world. Next is All Along the Watchtower. Hendrix rewrites Dylan's poem with fire. Bob Dylan's version was cool, but Jimi Hendrix's version,
Too much confusion. I can't get no relief.
that was something else entirely. When Hendrix took on All Along the Watchtower in 1968, he reimagined it from the ground up. That guitar came in like a storm, crashing through the speakers with this almost otherworldly force. The solo, still one of the greatest ever recorded. Every note was soaked in tension, urgency, and something ancient you couldn't quite name. What's wild is that Dylan himself started performing the song more like Hendrix after hearing it, and Jimi's version made the lyrics feel like a prophecy. End of the world. Something's coming. You don't know what, but you feel it. This felt like a warning, wrapped in electric fire. On number 11 is Hush, Deep Purple's Loud Hello. Before they were melting faces with Smoke on the Water, Deep Purple came out swinging with Hush.
She looks so fine, the best girl that I ever had. She gonna make me feel so bad.
It was their first big hit, and you could feel them flexing their sound. Wild organ solos, groovy bass lines, funky rhythm. It had this soulful punch, but still rocked hard. And the attitude, off the charts. Rod Evans delivered those vocals with smooth control, while Ritchie Blackmore's guitar ripped through the track like a siren. It didn't sound like anything else in 1968. You could tell they were about to go heavier, louder, meaner, and they did. But Hush is where it all really started. They even re-recorded it 20 years later with a new lineup, and it still held up. On number 12, we got Mrs. Robinson, Simon and Garfunkel, Say What Everyone's Thinking, nicely. Everyone knows that acoustic riff. It kicks off, and you're instantly transported to the 60s. Mrs. Robinson started off as part of the Graduate soundtrack, but it didn't stay there for long.
And here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus loves you more than you will know.
It exploded into something way bigger. The song isn't a protest anthem. It's not really romantic either. It just sort of is. Biting, honest, a little weird. Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel were quietly picking apart the cracks in the world, with harmonies that made it all sound beautiful. The lyrics might sound breezy, but there's weight under them. Disillusionment, confusion, a world changing too fast, and it hit a nerve. Still does. It's a song you hum without realizing how deep it really runs. And we saved the best one for the last. On number 13 is I Heard It Through the Grapevine. Marvin Gaye makes you feel it all.
That you love someone else instead, I heard.
This one doesn't come in hot. It creeps in, slow, moody, dripping with tension. Marvin Gaye's voice floats just above the groove, like he's holding back tears the whole time. I Heard It Through the Grapevine is all about heartbreak and betrayal, but not the loud, angry kind. This is the kind where your world breaks quietly. You find out secondhand, and you still don't want to believe it.
Much longer would you be mine? Oh, I heard it through the grapevine.
The Funk Brothers laid down one of the most hypnotic backbeats in Motown history, and Marvin, he made pain sound beautiful. This song literally wraps around you. And even though it's been covered plenty of times, nobody ever touched what Marvin did. He turned whispers into thunder. So, which of these 1968 rock anthems still gives you chills? Did we miss a track that totally shaped your world? Or your parents' playlist? Drop it in the comments. And if you felt even a spark from this wild ride through music history, hit that like, subscribe, and come hang with us again.